What's up, guys? Frank Sriracha here with another casted game for Discovery Cup. This is going to be round two, game one, Corvix versus David, a VVV matchup, if you will. And we're going to be having it on Furious Resolve, which is definitely legally separate, legally distinct from a certain other map from a different game. It's completely not the same thing at all. Um, but anyway, in the top right, we've got the Vanguard player, David. Actually, let me check these buttons. Can I zoom in with the? Oh, I can. There we go. Now we need like the overlays and the fancy sound effects. And in the cross spawn, in the lower left, we have Corvix. Ducka 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 dun. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the last time you'll have to hear me do that. So the scouts are scouting. Surprise, surprise. Corvix doesn't see that there's an early expand going down, but David is going to see that the overcharged Bob's going to be out. Oh, he's going to lose that scout though? No, but it's going to take a lot of damage. So the overcharged Bobs did have to spend a little bit of time of their overcharge attacking the scout, which doesn't bode well for like the longevity of how long it's going to take them to build this command post. And the command post not built perfectly perpendicular to the Luminite mine, which is preferred. That's how you get, I guess, for maximum mining efficiency. But but that's just the way it is, in the words of the poet philosopher Tupac Shakur. Um, and he got his expand up a little bit earlier than David did, but David seems to have, oh, I was gonna say more saturation, but those Bobs going to instantly go down and make a barracks to kind of start walling off this low ground. Man, I can't get enough of these, like just the map textures. They're leaps and bounds where they were. Um, but yeah, barracks going down, scouts coming back to see more Bobs coming to possibly saturate. Oh, is he gonna try? Nope, didn't attack the pup. I think he may have been able to get away with it. But where are those Bobs headed? Where are they going? Are they just gonna try and build a scrapyard next to the Ethereum? Or are they gonna go for a third? Wow, a third base expand um, before 3 minutes, and doesn't. Okay, so the first Lancer's coming out, and it's still just a dog versus a dog. Furious Resolve's, I wouldn't say it's a huge map, but it's not so big that you can play this greedily. I wonder if Corvix's scout saw the barracks go down, and he knew that David wasn't going to have enough resources for a third expand, but oh boy, where's that? There we go. We finally see the barracks getting completed for Corvix, but is it going to be enough? Yeah, David's already got two Lancers out. I think if he marches across the map right now, David's going to be in a heap of trouble. Ooh, and a mech bay. A mech bay to help the wall off. Meanwhile, Corvix just has the single barracks. His first Lancer isn't out just yet. Here we go, but we'd have the dog versus dog. This time Corvix's puppy's on the back foot. Being reinforced by a Lancer coming up soon. Oh, it doesn't look good. And that's it. No, goodbye Robo-Dog. Alright, looks like the first camp that they're going to try and take is the speed camp, which is an interesting choice, especially with low unit count armies. My assumption would be that you would want regen, just to make sure that your units have a bit more longevity to them. Lancers extremely tanky in this patch, and the scout, with what health it has remaining, is going to leave. It's not going to take the health fern, but it's going to let the Lancers sit there and yeah, finish off the creep camp, and it's going to go back for another scout. See what tech's being built. Oh, seized. Had to go back and make sure that it got killed. Double Lancer production out of Corvix. Meanwhile, alright, the mech bay's at work building a Vulcan. Vulcans are spicy, spicy units, especially once that gun gets spun up completely. There we go. David throwing down a whole bunch of production. Two more barracks and a habitat. So it looks like he may be going bio-heavy with some supporting Vulcans. Yeah, there's that first Vulcan that's come out. Oh, and it got the double veteran treatment, so it's gonna be dishing out the DPS. But will that matter if it can't catch what it's aiming for? I'm not so sure. Corvix going for his health camp. Really wants to make sure that he's coming out of skirmishes, you know, with an army that can regenerate a little bit and be ready for the next fight, which I think is, personally, I think is prudent. Oh, I love this. David using a scrapyard to mine 2 patches of Therium at once. Looks like he hasn't started any upgrades for it just yet, but that's fine. Bobs are taking... it's interesting that this Bob isn't going for the closest enriched patch, but you know, maybe that's an optimization issue that's coming in the future. A couple of Lancers coming by to cheekily try and steal the Shadow Demons over there. Maybe not. Looks like not. They may be trying to come over here to harass the 3rd. Yeah, along with that Vet 2 Vulcan is going to be a problem, especially with Corvix's Lancer ball being so... Is it a ball? It's more of a bouncy toy, I guess you'd call it. But, yeah, okay, now you have to put a Bob inside. Now you have to put a Bob inside. You have to put a Bob inside so it can heal all your other Bobs. Now, was it worth the DPS loss? I'm not sure that the DPS that comes out of a sentry post is all that impactful. Oh man. Yeah, that Atlas with a shield is a problem. All kinds of Lancers going down inside of Corvix. But the Xers are going to try and focus down that Atlas, which is going to get away. Oh, and the Nano Swarm on it, just to make sure that it's got a little bit more... Oh, the offensive dash into the Lancers. With the double... Oh, the Vet 2 Vulcan goes down. And it looks like... Wow, he's going to get chased off. And those Lancers, very low on health. But he does save the 3rd. He does save the 3rd at the loss of a couple Bobs and a bunch of army units. But now he knows that his opponent's going mech. Now, does he know that there's only one mech bay that's producing? No, but he does have... Oh, man, the double queue up on the Vulcans there is no joke. And triple barracks... Oh, man, going into the 4th barracks is going to be quite spicy. But Corvix has four barracks of his own that came down. And does he already have Quick Draw Hustle on? He does. He does have Quick Draw Hustle on his Exos already. Doesn't have any med techs out yet, and I think he's going to need that if he wants his if he wants to preserve his units and maintain that veterancy that they get. In StarCraft, Marines were a lot more of an expendable unit, but in Vanguard, which are the most Terran-like, you really, really want to preserve your units. Every time they get a kill, be it a creep camp or a fight with another, with your opponent, they rack up that experience. Experience turns into veterancy, and veterancy turns into a much, much better unit. And yes, you can purchase it with promote, but again, you only get so much top bar energy, and there's cooldowns, and there's other things that you sacrifice, but there's macro implications for using that top bar energy. That could have been a Bob recharge. It could have been, or overcharge, excuse me, that you used on promote. So anyway, all that to say that David is out on the map and just dominating these creep camps. Yeah, so he's taking the passive Therium, he's got the passive Luminite, both vision camps, the speed camp, and now Corvix is going to go out and contest. He's going to steal all these camps, which is nice that he's going to get the passives, but it doesn't mean that he's got the resources from taking these camps. And again, not only resources, but experience. Like, look, I wonder how many units are going to get... Okay, we didn't see any unit promotions for that fight. But yeah, the more creep camps they take, or the more creeps that they kill in a fight, the more experience they get. Alright, so it looks like the two armies are accidentally going to converge here. Now, did they see each other? I think they did. Oh, alright. Kills the boss creep. Two minor ones. Yeah, see, we saw a couple of promotions there, but also a couple of of ability promotions. Oh, 2 Exos getting caught on the reinforce. But now that frees up these Exos to take down a Vulcan. Not an inexpensive unit by any stretch, but these Exos are just dishing out the hurt on these Nano Swarm Vulcans. We don't see any med techs on the side of Corvix, so all the damage that he's taking is just permanent damage. Man, the Lancers with their small AOE, along with the Vulcans that are just anchoring that position, and the med techs that are healing, just everything on the battlefield. I think the Sharks are starting to smell blood in the water. Yeah, Corvix is gonna have to pull a rabbit out of a hat. He's got the better economy right now, but where's that money going? He's got more Luminite, but he's like, where's all that production headed? So all of his veteran units are just gone now. He does finally have some med techs out, but is that going to be enough to contest with that Vulcan? Oh, and a couple of Hornets and another Vulcan reinforcing. This is we're seeing quite a bit of variety in the army composition of David here. I'm really liking it. David's staying very dominant out on the map with the camps, and that might be, I'm not going to say for sure that's what's giving him the edge on this map, but it does seem that he always has more units in the fight. Okay, now Corvix finally seeing that his third is being targeted, along with the barracks. Alright, so we've got that sentry post just has nothing inside of it still. That we do see one buzzsaw cannon, which is nice, but yeah, every unit that Corvix loses to this army is just experience being fed into it. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't take a fight, but he needs to take fights that he can win. And with all these nano swarms being thrown down and like the heavy damage coming out of the Vulcans, does take the Vet 2 level Vulcan out, but at what cost? He's down to 4 Exos and 4 Exos, a Medtech, and a Buzzsaw Cannon against a Vet 1 Atlas, a whole bunch of Exos, some Hornets. Like, I think this may be it. The flat cannon move was pretty smart. Didn't use the Bobs to repair it, which he could have. The flat cannon, of course, being very helpful for the AoE damage that it does. But David says he's had enough. He doesn't want to press his advantage. And in the words of one Artle Bartle, you know, if you're ahead, get more ahead. So I think David's just going to go back home. He does have his third up in mining, and he knows he's done enough damage, at least economy-wise. Oh, yep, and there's the GG from Corvix. So that's going to be it from round 2, game 1 of Corvix versus David.